This family made 1 in a million photo, thanks to a shooting star photo bomb. 2 men led a team of 80 people, spent 5 years collecting 1.2 million golden orb spiders, milked them for their silk, and created the rarest textile on earth, a golden silk cape. The smartest people ever assembled in one photo. 17 of them are Nobel Prize winners. Einstein is in the middle and Marie Curie 2 seats to the left. She won prizes in 2 separate scientific disciplines. Still the only person have done so. 5th Solvay Conference on Quantum Mechanics 1927. Varna man in the wealthiest grave of the 5th millennium BC. Upside down fig tree in Bacoli, Italy. No one is quite sure how the tree ended up there or how it survived, but year after year it continues to grow downwards and bear figs. This is an adolescent blue jay that is only halfway through puberty. Before the introduction of colored photographs, Russian chemist Sergei Gorsky created the most basic version of one. He combined 3 black and white photos, each through a colored filter, red, green and blue, and merged them to create a color image. This image taken by him is over 100 years old. Image I found about a cat that was raised alongside pit bulls. 110-year-old newspaper article about climate change. The first man to survive going over the Niagara Falls, Bobby Leach, later died by slipping on an orange peel at the age of 69. I had the unique opportunity to recreate this photo from 1918 to show how much this glacier in the Arctic has retreated in 104 years. 1918. 2022. Mount Chimborazo is the highest point on Earth, but not the world's tallest mountain. A small gargoyle biting a bigger gargoyle. Roof of Salisbury Cathedral, UK. Hiroshima before left and after right the detonation of Little Boy. This vase was made in ancient Assyria in the 8th century BC, about 2900 years ago. Guy catches catfish, gutted to find her adult toy. Freezing fog and strong winds form rime ice in New Hampshire's Mount Adams. In Cluj, Romania, 20 squats will get you a free bus ticket. Disabled and elderly people get to ride for free. A leopard being shadowed by a panther. A fat pigeon nailed a window where I work. Pigeon is fine. The only waves around the world that are protected by law. Nothing is allowed to be built within a 2-kilometer radius of this natural phenomenon, so nothing can affect its natural formation. It is called jicama, on the Peruvian coast. The inspection. Meticulously detailed oil painting created by Ludwig Deutsch in 1883. Life cycle of a strawberry. In 1963, a Turkish man was renovating his home. After knocking down a wall in his basement, he found a tunnel. He followed the tunnel and discovered an ancient underground city called Derinkuyu, which is large enough to have sheltered as many as 20,000 people together. These apartments in Vancouver. Felix Gretterson, the world's first successful double arm transplant recipient. I took 30,000 individual 2 megapixel images of the moon to create one 80 megapixel image with insane detail. An Indo-Pacific sailfish raising its sail. Some world-class stealth destroyer on the Columbia River today. A coyote-proof vest for little doggos. Black sapphire grapes from Syria. This 40% bigger than the original VW Bug built on a Dodge Ram chassis by Richard Tupper. The King of England had a love chair too. Pleasure two partners at once. The widest highway in the world is Interstate 10, located in Katy, Texas. It serves over 219,000 vehicles daily. Went to the darkest skies I could find in the US to shoot the Milky Way galactic core. This photo is the result. What the Andromeda galaxy would look like from Earth if it was brighter. Camouflage satellite dish. 3 icons of aviation in one perfect vintage picture. That small dot is Mercury in front of the sun. I found this child-sized rescue dummy on the bottom of Lake Natoma and thought I was going to have a heart attack. Mobile coffee station for cold days. London 1932. Found John Wayne's Oregon Trail for film location from 1936. Another mask that I decorated using a 3D pen. Fritz Gusling's proposal for the Reichstag building 1895. Family of crows give Spriggers a gift to Seattle man who has been feeding them for years. An image of the NGC 6302 Butterfly Nebula 3392 light years away, taken by the Hubble telescope. The mantis shrimp, thought to have the most complex visual system ever discovered in the animal kingdom. Humans have 3 types of photoreceptor cells in their eyes, while mantis shrimp have between 12 and 60. They can see wavelengths of light and color that humans cannot. Japanese scientists have developed a slightly sweaty robotic finger covered in living skin in advance, they say, brings truly human-like robots a step closer. Catted nymph found in the Amazon rainforest of Ecuador. Concrete made to look like wood. Explosive hydroforming is a pretty cool process. You start with a large polygon-looking sphere made out of curved plates. The sphere is then filled with water and a small explosive charge. And when you set off the charge, the explosive force of the water forces the sphere into shape. This knife I'm using was manufactured in a country that hasn't existed for 30 years. In the August of 1960, the Soviet dogs Belka and Strelka became the first dogs to return alive from space. Strelka gave birth to 6 puppies afterwards, and Nikita Khrushchev, then head of state of the USSR, decided to give one of the puppies to John F. Kennedy. This is what Jupiter's North Pole in infrared looks like. Osprey lunging for its catch. Probably the most disgusting photo you will see today. Recoloured Mariupol sign. Australia, apparently the land of drought, heat and fire, is having to dig chairlifts out of record snowfalls 2 weeks into winter. Mount Buller has broken its season opening snow depth record. 1898 to 1900 champagne bottle still containing champagne recovered from the Titanic. Yellow watermelon. The Arab Room in Cardiff Castle. The Jatayu Earth Centre, India, has the world's largest bird sculpture, which is of Jatayu, a demigod who has the form of a vulture or eagle. The sculpture is 61 meters long, sculpted by Rajavanchal. See man on wing, fourth size. Natural Ethiopian opal rough before it's cut. There are 16,900 stars in this picture. A drone shot by Johnny Miller captures the stark inequality in Mumbai, India. The left are the Dharavi slums, and on the right are lines of corporate buildings, such as even the National Stock Exchange. What give a bollard the strength to stop a car? The first McDonald's drive-thru was built in 1975 in Sierra Vista, Arizona, near a military installation called Fort Huachuca to serve military members who were not allowed to exit their vehicles off post whilst wearing their uniforms. Ancient Roman Swiss Army knife from 200 to 300 AD. The size of the Earth compared to the size of Jupiter. From this angle the MGM looks transparent. His bookstore closed in 2011. It has remained untouched and stopped in time since. This California scrub jay wants to get in the Guinness Book of World Records for fitting most nuts in its mouth. Vampire killing kit from the 1800s. The life cycle of a wasp, taken after deconstructing a big nest of them today. The bent pyramid circa 2600 BC in Egypt with its original, polished limestone outer casing remaining largely intact. Twisted old-growth cypress tree growing at around 1000 meters elevation in the mountains of Vancouver Island, British Columbia. I found my handwritten family tree dating back to 1811. Choradidis, species of praying mantis. Home to tapeworms and pickpockets. Roman baths preserved by Mount Vesuvius, complete with changing shells. A view of Saturn in a cheap 3D printed telescope. On June 11, 1962, 3 Alcatraz inmates left homemade dummy heads in their beds to fool the guards before launching an escape from the infamous island prison, never to be seen again. This is the aftermath. Archaeologists have found vessels containing over 100 unfired clay cuneiform tablets inside clay envelopes in the remains of a Bronze Age city at the bottom of an Iraqi reservoir which was exposed during low water levels. Saw a tree growing out of a stop sign. The biggest freestanding hall in the world. Somewhere in the picture. 3 humans for scale. Tiny praying mantis. A Vietnamese red-shanked auk. Andromeda Galaxy, 2.5 million light years from our sun, taken by WISE, Wide Field Infrared Survey Explorer. The Akeltik is a Turkmen horse breed. They have a reputation for speed and endurance, intelligence, and a distinctive metallic sheen, leading to their nickname, the Golden Horses. There are 6,600 on Earth. DNA research found the Akeltik to be one of the oldest horse breeds alive today. The captain of RMS Queen Mary II standing on her bulbous bow. Lala was an adorable king penguin who was a part of a Japanese family for years. After the family took him to the market for the first time, Lala kept going back. So the family made a decision to put a tiny backpack on him and taught Lala to get fish from the market on his own. The Baftic moth that looks like a broken twig. My dad found a Polygonia regia butterfly on our door. At about 5,400 years, this Alas tree in Chile's Alas Castero National Park may now be the world's oldest known tree. Back in January, Mile Lake was drained for dam concerns. 6 months later, it's become a green marshland. This carving my temple found under walls. After 500 years of other failed attempts, the Joa was the first ship to make the Northwest Passage from Atlantic to Pacific. Sailed by Roald Amundsen with a crew of 6, taking 3 years. He later led the first expedition to the South Pole. Relief map of the United States. Designs on the back of British currency when arranged properly will display the royal coat of arms. 12.5 carat sapphire found in the Australian outback. The oldest works of art in the world, in the Chauvet cave in France. Perhaps the first graffiti of Homo sapiens. Helmet and mask with gilded crest. Japan, Edo period, 17th to 18th century. These dishes were on a Dutch East India Company ship that sank in 1751. They were salvaged in 1985 as part of the Nanking cargo collection. Woman cuts off a tattoo of her ex-boyfriend's name with a scalpel and mails the skin to him after he told her he was emigrating to Alaska, but instead moved in with another woman. My ex broke my heart, so I sliced off my arm tattoo and mailed it to him. Stolen by knees, this plaster cast of Michelangelo's first work is all that's left of the original that vanished during World War II. David Duke, former Grand Wizard of the Ku-Klux Klan, once received 43.5% of the popular vote in a Louisiana election for the United States Senate. His record was known at the time. 1990 United States Senate election in Louisiana, October 6, 1990. Nominee: J. Burnett Johnston. David Duke. Party: Democratic. Republican. Popular vote: 753,198. 607,051. Percentage: 54%. 43.5%. In Top Gun Maverick, 2022, the patch that contained the Japanese and Taiwanese flags on Maverick's jacket was replaced in the 2019 trailer, but was ultimately kept in the worldwide theatrical release, making it look like it did in 1986. 1986. 2019. The Clearwater Lakes in Quebec, Canada, were formed roughly 290 million years ago when a binary asteroid hit Earth. They are 36 kilometers, 22 miles, and 26 kilometers, 16 miles, in diameter, respectively. I've added the Manhattan Island, 21 kilometers / 13.4 miles in length, for scale. Restoration of the USS Monitor turret, one of the earliest rotting gun turrets on a warship, located at the Mariners Museum in Newport News, Virginia. The Serpent Column of Delphi melted, erased, engraved, sold, stolen, bashed, and replaced. Close-up picture of Jupiter's moon Ganymede taken by NASA spacecraft Juno. Leo Oswald's wife, mother, and brother mourning at his funeral. They, law enforcement, and reporters were among the only people there. This place holds the Guinness record since 2004 as the highest placed hotel in the world at 13,000 feet or 3,880 meters. RAF typhoons in the 70 formation during the Queen's Platinum Jubilee a few days ago. A Russian tank using rocks as armor. Underneath the top golf target. Steve Keeler from the UK deadlifts 129.5 kilograms with just his middle dinger for 8 seconds to break the Guinness World Record. There are decorations made from human bones adorn the interior of the said lake ossuary, which is why it is commonly referred to as the Bone Church. Inside you'll find the remains of more than 40,000 humans, which, by doing some quick math, means there are more than 8,240,000 human bones inside. This is the largest tire deposit in the world. Kuwait. A rainbow cloud. On the 10th anniversary of King Features' Thimble Theatre comic, January 17, 1929, Popeye the Sailor Man made his first ever appearance, soon becoming one of the most beloved characters of all media. Mannequins after a nuclear test in the Nevada desert 1953. This is a photo of the first successful air-to-air refueling, June 27, 1923. 3 different boxes of the same base brand of cereal, all marketed as family size, but none of them are equivalent in weight to the others. Parked next to this in the parking garage at work today in Boston's Seaport District. 2 levels down. At this location, May 19, 2016. Skanska, the developer and contractor for 121 Seaport, uncovered the remnants of a 75-foot wooden schooner that was carrying lime from Rockland, Maine, and scuttled circa 1885. Wildlife Photographer of the Year, Explosives Lex wins top prize. Several camouflage groupers rush to release their spam as a female fish drops a burst of eggs. The false sugar lobbyism of yesteryear is still deeply ingrained in today's generation. Diet device. Snack on some candy about an hour before lunch. Sugar's quick energy can be the willpower you need to eat less. I've never seen this before. I was in my yard messing around with a frisbee and happened to look up to catch it, and there was a rainbow around the sun. I had polarized glasses on, and so I tried to get a picture with my phone, and this is what I got. This was not from the camera lens either. 55 years ago this week, just before his legendary Monterey Pop Fest fire performance in California, Jimi Hendrix sacrificed this hand-painted Stratocaster guitar at London's Savile Theatre. This fossil I found in one of my stair steps. The forearm of a man who lived between the 12th and 16th century. A copper plate was fitted to support a fracture. Bone growth shows the man survived the operation and the injury healed quite well. It was found at the Varna Monastery in Västergötland, Sweden.